They say life gives you back what you give to others,
Stop
but
crying and
Mama
hurry
Nonso
up!
never
I
expected
told you
her
to
own
sweep the
cruelty to
house!
come home
Get
wearing a wedding
moving!
ring. In fact, the whole compound whispered behind her back, laughing quietly and pointing, "She has finally met her match." But hold on, this story didn't begin here. Let's rewind to where it all started. In the crowded compound on Adiola Street in Onitsha, everyone knew the sound of Mama Nonso's slippers. Kapam, 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 like a judge's gavel announcing judgment. The women would straighten their wrappers and hush their children whenever they heard her coming. Mama Nonso was a dark-skinned widow whose voice could be heard 3 streets away, and she had one favorite saying that she repeated like a prayer. "No woman can love my son the way I love him, not one." She had buried her husband 10 years ago, but she never buried her authority. The compound feared her, respected her, and secretly resented her. But nobody dared say it to her face. Her son, Nonso, was a quiet man who worked at a bank and preferred his books to confrontation. And that was precisely the problem. Adana was Nonso's first wife. She came from a good family in Enugu, soft-spoken with a smile that could brighten the darkest room. On their wedding day, Mama Nonso whispered to her son, "I'll watch her closely. These modern girls don't know how to respect elders." And watch her she did. Every morning, Adana would kneel to greet her mother-in-law, her voice gentle and respectful. She cooked traditional ensala soup with care, cleaned the house until it sparkled, and spoke only when spoken to. But it was never enough. Mama Nonso would secretly dirty the sitting room after Adana cleaned it, smearing palm oil on the doorframes, then call the compound women to witness. "Look at this! Is this how she keeps my son's house? What did her mother teach her?" When Adana presented her carefully prepared jollof rice, Mama Nonso would taste it and spit it out dramatically. "This rice? Are you trying to kill me with salt? Or is there no salt at all? I can't even tell." The compound women would watch, embarrassed for the young bride, but nobody intervened. This was Mama Nonso's domain. 3 months into the marriage, during a visit from church women, Mama Nonso poured water over Adana's food and screamed, "Poison! This girl wants to poison me so she can have my son to herself." Adana stood frozen, tears streaming silently down her face. "Mama, I would never. I only wanted to make you happy," she whispered. Mama Nonso's response was cold. "Happy? You want to make me happy? Then learn how to be a proper wife." That night, Adana packed her bags in silence. She left a note on the bed that read, I tried so hard, but I cannot live where love is a crime." When Nonso found it in the morning, he begged his mother to apologize, to bring Adana back. She refused. "Good riddance," she said, waving her hand dismissively. "We'll find someone better." 6 months later, Nonso married Chidinma. And oh, Chidinma was different. She wore her hair natural, spoke 3 languages, and worked as a manager at a telecommunications company. She walked into that compound like she owned it. On their first morning together, when Mama Nonso expected the traditional kneeling greeting, Chidinma extended her hand for a handshake instead. "Good morning, Mama. How are you today?" she said cheerfully. Mama Nonso's eyes widened in shock. "Eh? What is this? You don't kneel to greet your elders?" Chidinma smiled politely but firmly. "With respect, Mama, I greet from my heart, not from my knees. My mother taught me that dignity and respect can live together." Mama Nonso sputtered with rage. "Nonso, you see what you brought into this house? This Jezebel." From that day, war was declared, but this time Mama Nonso had met her match. When Mama Nonso changed the kitchen locks to assert her authority, Chidinma simply ordered food delivery and ate in her room. When Mama Nonso spread rumors at the market, "That girl is possessed, she has marines, village people," Chidinma walked up calmly and said, "Mama, if you have something to say it to my face, not to market women." The older woman was humiliated in front of her friends. The final confrontation came on a Sunday after church. Mama Nonso, desperate to regain control, declared, "Pack your things. This is my house and I say you must go." Chidinma looked at her calmly and replied, "Your house? Your son paid for this house, Mama, but don't worry, I'm leaving. Not because you're sending me away, but because I choose peace over poison." As she walked to the door with her dignity intact, she turned one last time. "But mark my words, Mama Nonso, one day you will meet someone who treats you exactly as you've treated us, and on that day you'll understand." Mama Nonso was worried now. Her son was 38, unmarried again, and the compound women were gossiping. "Maybe the problem is not the wives," they whispered behind her back. "Maybe it's the mother." This Mama Nonso could not accept. She travelled to her home village, Umuda, where the old ways still held strong. "I need a proper girl," she told her relatives, "someone with home training, someone who knows how to respect elders." She interviewed young women for days. Too modern. She's wearing trousers. Too educated. University girls have no respect. Too pretty. She'll give my son wahala with other men. Then she found Ebeli, 23 years old, quiet, from a humble home with mud walls and a mango tree in the front yard. When Mama Nonso arrived, Ebele knelt properly, eyes downcast, and greeted her with perfect Igbo. "No, Mama, welcome to our home. Please come and sit. I will bring water for you." Mama Nonso's heart soared. This is the one I want for my son." Within 2 weeks, the dowry was paid. Ebeli packed her small bag and travelled to Onitsha. Mama Nonso announced to the entire compound with triumphant pride, "Finally, a real wife. Not those Jezebels from before. This one knows her place." The first month was like a dream, Mama Nonso's dream anyway. Ebele woke at 5 in the morning to sweep the compound, prepared breakfast with care, and served Mama Nonso first, always kneeling. "Good morning, Mama. I hope you slept well," she would say sweetly. At the market, Mama Nonso boasted to her friends, "You see, I told you people, the problem was those other girls. This Ebele, she's a jewel. She wakes before the cock crows. She cooks like my mother used to cook, and she never talks back." Nonso was happy too. He would return from work to find a peaceful home, and Ebele was warm and attentive. "You make me so happy, Ebele," he told her one evening. "Thank you for being patient with my mother." But if anyone had looked closely at Ebele's eyes, they would have seen something calculating there. Always watching, always waiting, like a student studying for an exam she planned to ace. It started small. One evening, Mama Nonso called from the sitting room, "Ebele, Ebele, bring my dinner, Ebele." Silence. She called again,
Ebele,
louder.
are you deaf?
"Ebele, are you
Bring my
deaf?"
dinner.
Finally, Ebele emerged from the kitchen, calmly drying her hands. "Did you call me, Mama?" she asked pleasantly. Mama Nonso exploded. "Did I call? I've been shouting for 5 minutes. Are you mad? Bring my food now." Ebele's face changed. The sweetness drained away like water from a cracked pot. Her voice dropped all pretense of warmth. "Mama, I heard you the first time. I was busy. Your food is not running away, and if you speak to me like that again, I will tell Nonso how you disrespect me when he's not here." Mama Nonso stood speechless, unable to believe what she was hearing. Then, just as quickly, Ebele's smile returned. "Now, let me bring your dinner. I made your favourite, ofena sala with catfish." The next day, Mama Nonso tried to enter the kitchen at noon. The door was locked. She knocked, and Ebele opened it, blocking the entrance with her body. "Why is my kitchen locked?" Mama Nonso demanded. Ebele tilted her head. "Your kitchen? I thought this was our family home, Mama, or is it yours alone?" The older woman sputtered. "Since when do you lock?" Ebele interrupted her smoothly. "I lock it because I'm cooking something special for my husband. You know, Mama, you had your time with your husband. Now it's my time with mine. Or do you want to take his place in our bedroom too?" Mama Nonso shook with anger, but before she could respond, Ebeli leaned close and whispered, "Dare what, Mama? Speak up. Say it loud so Nonso can hear when he comes home. Let's see who he believes, his sweet wife or his bitter mother." For the first time in her life, Mama Nonso had no words. She backed away slowly, feeling something she had never felt before: powerlessness. Ebeli was a master actress. When Nonso was home, she was perfection itself. She would laugh, serve him his favourite meals, and speak to his mother with exaggerated respect. "My dear, I made edikang ikong today, with plenty of water leaf. Just how you like it," Nonso would beam. "Mama, see how lucky I am. God has finally blessed me with a good wife." Mama Nonso would nod quietly, unable to speak the truth. But when Nonso left for work, Ebeli transformed. If Mama Nonso asked for drinking water, Ebeli would respond without looking up. "You have legs, Mama.
Go
Walk to the fridge
get
yourself.
water
Or are you crippled?"
yourself!
When Mama Nonso tried to correct her cooking, Ebeli would snap, "I saw how you looked at my soup today, like you wanted to criticize it. Try it, Mama. Just try to say one bad word about my cooking in front of Nonso. I dare you." The psychological warfare escalated. Ebeli locked cupboards. She made only enough food for herself and Nonso, leaving Mama Nonso to fend for herself. She scheduled her cooking times for when the older woman was hungriest. And always, when Nonso returned home, Ebeli transformed back into the angel. One evening, alone in the kitchen, Ebeli delivered her cruelest blow yet. "You know what, Mama? I understand now why you chased away Adana and Chidinma. You were afraid they would take your son's love. But guess what? He loves me more than he ever loved you. He told me last night. He said, 'Ebeli, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Not you, Mama. Me.'" Tears filled Mama Nonso's eyes. Ebeli watched them fall and felt a moment of something: regret, satisfaction. She couldn't tell any more. "Does it hurt?" she asked quietly. "Good. Now you know how Adana felt, how Chidinma felt, how every woman you've ever bullied felt." The compound noticed the change. Mama Nonso, who once roared like a lion, now moved like a ghost. Her loud slippers were silent. Her voice became a whisper. She sat alone under the mango tree, staring at nothing. Her food went untouched. Her hair remained unkempt. Weight fell off her frame like leaves from a dying tree. The neighbour women whispered among themselves, "Have you seen Mama Nonso? She's not herself. That Ebeli girl, there's something wrong there." After church one Sunday, 3 compound women approached Nonso. "My son, we need to talk to you about your wife," the eldest said carefully. Nonso was defensive. "Ebeli, what about her? She's wonderful." The woman cut him off gently. "That's what we thought too. But Nonso, when you're not there, she changes. We've heard her speak to your mother, the things she says." Another woman added, "Your mother is suffering, my son, suffering in silence." Nonso shook his head in disbelief. "But that's impossible. Ebeli is so kind to her. I see it every day." The eldest woman touched his arm. "What you see and what is real are not always the same thing. Please just watch carefully, for your mother's sake." That evening, Nonso came home early from work. He heard voices in the kitchen, his wife and his mother. He stood hidden in the hallway, listening. His mother's voice was pleading, broken. "Ebeli, please, can we not have peace? I know I was hard on the others, but you've made your point. Can't we start again?" Ebeli's response was cold, cruel. "Start again? Oh, Mama, we're just getting started. You had years to torment those women. I've only been here 3 months. Do you think 3 months of suffering balances 10 years of yours?" Mama Nonso was crying now. "I was wrong. I admit it. I was wrong to treat them that way. But please, have mercy." Ebeli's laugh was bitter. "Mercy? Mercy? Did you show Adana mercy when you poured water on her food? Did you show Chidinma mercy when you locked her out of the kitchen? You wanted a humble, obedient daughter-in-law? Well, congratulations, Mama. You got exactly what you deserved. Nonso's footsteps echoed as he entered the kitchen. What is going on here? His voice shook with anger. Ebony tried to switch masks quickly. Oh, darling, you're home early. I was just... He cut her off. Don't. I heard everything. Everything, Ebony. Silence fell like a heavy curtain. Pack your things. I want you out of this house tonight. But then, something unexpected happened. Mama Nonso's weak voice rose from where she sat. No! Nonso turned to her, confused. Mama, stay out of this. She stood, holding the table for support, and said louder, No, Nonso, wait. Please, listen to me. She looked at her son with tears streaming down her weathered face. She's right. Ebony is right. Nonso stared at his mother in shock. What? Mama, she's been torturing you. Mama Nonso shook her head slowly. Yes, just like I tortured Adana, just like I tortured Chidinma. My son, when I hear her speak to me, I hear my own voice. Every cruel word, every humiliation, I did all of that, and worse. Her voice cracked. I thought I was protecting you. I thought no woman was good enough for my son. But the truth is, I was afraid of being replaced, afraid of losing your love. So I made sure no wife could ever be comfortable in this house. She turned to Ebele with raw honesty. You came here to teach me a lesson, didn't you? Ebele's facade finally crumbled. Yes, she whispered. Nonso looked between them, trying to understand. Ebele continued, her own tears falling now. I came here to teach her a lesson. My aunt was a Dana. She never recovered from what your mother did to her. She divorced, went back to her family, and she still flinches when anyone raises their voice. I saw what your mother's cruelty did to her. Her voice broke completely. So when my family was approached with the dowry, I agreed. I thought I would make her feel the same pain. I practiced how to be sweet to you and cruel to her. I studied her like an exam. She looked at Nonso with desperate eyes. I did marry you for revenge, but Nonso, I didn't know I would fall in love with you, and I didn't know that becoming like her would make me hate myself. She fell to her knees. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I became the very thing I despised. Mama Nonso, you were cruel, but I became crueler. I used your son's love as a weapon, and that's unforgivable. A long silence filled the kitchen. 3 people, 3 broken hearts, 3 sets of tears. Then Mama Nonso spoke softly. When did we become people who hurt each other so easily? When did love become a war? She moved toward Ebele and knelt beside her on the floor. Child, you're right. I was cruel. But seeing my own cruelty reflected back at me, it broke something in me, something that needed to break. She took Ebele's hands in her own. I forgive you. Not because what you did was right, but because I understand why you did it. And if you can find it in your heart, can you forgive a stubborn old woman who confused control with love? Ebele sobbed. Mama, I never wanted to hurt you this much. I just wanted you to understand. They embraced, both crying, both releasing years of pain. Inherited pain, inflicted pain, reflected pain. Nonso stood watching them, struggling with his own emotions. I don't know what to do with all of this. His mother looked up at him. My son, you have a choice. You can hold on to anger, or you can choose mercy. Your wife did wrong, yes, but so did I. And pain that is not transformed will be transmitted. We can end the cycle here, tonight. Nonso looked at both women, his mother and his wife, and slowly extended his hand to help Ebele up. We start again, all 3 of us. No more games, no more wars. Can we do that? They both nodded. The next morning, something remarkable happened in that house on Ardiola Street. 3 people sat at the breakfast table together, morning light streaming through the windows. Ebele served a kamu with milk and honey. Mama, I made your favorite, she said softly. Mama Nonso smiled. a real smile, not the tight-lipped grimace the compound knew. "Thank you, my daughter, and please call me Ma instead of Mama. It sounds warmer, don't you think?" Nonso watched them cautiously. "Is this real, or will I come home this evening and find World War III?" His mother laughed, and it sounded like music nobody had heard in years. "My son, even I am surprised. I slept better last night than I have in years. When you let go of anger, your body finally rests." Ebeli spoke up. "Ma, I've been thinking, would you teach me how to make olfinasala the way you do? Mine is never quite right." Mama Nonso's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were different tears. "You want me to teach you?" Ebeli nodded. "Yes, I want to learn from you, not because I have to, but because I want to." 2 months later, Mama Nonso hosted her women's fellowship meeting. The compound women gathered, curious about what had changed. Mama Nonso stood before them with a humility they had never seen. "My sisters, I want to share my testimony with you today. I want to tell you how God used my own pride to humble me." The women leaned in, listening. "I chased away 2 good women because I thought I knew better. I thought I was protecting my son, but I was really protecting my own power. And then God sent me a mirror, my daughter-in-law Ebeli." Ebeli entered with fresh tea, smiling warmly at the women. Mama Nonso reached for her hand. "She showed me who I really was, and it was ugly. My sisters, so ugly that I couldn't recognize myself, but that ugliness had to be seen before it could be healed." An elder woman asked gently, "So what changed, Mama Nonso?" The older woman's voice was steady and clear. "I finally understood that love doesn't need to control, that respect is given, not demanded, and that sometimes the people who hurt us most are the ones God sends to save us. This woman, she didn't come to destroy me. She came to deliver me from myself." In the weeks that followed, Mama Nonso did something else remarkable. She wrote letters, long letters, filled with apologies and tears. To Adana, she wrote 3 pages confessing every cruelty. Adana's response came 3 months later. "I forgive you, Mama, not because it was easy, but because holding on to pain was harder than letting it go." When Chidinma heard what had happened, she came to visit. She stood at the compound entrance, hesitant. Mama Nonso saw her, walked slowly toward her, and did something she had never done before. She knelt. "I was wrong. Please forgive me." Chidinma helped her up with tears in her eyes. "You're forgiven, Mama, and I'm proud of you for changing. That takes more courage than being right ever did." Under the mango tree where Mama Nonso once sat in bitter isolation, she now sat with Ebele beside her, and Nonso reading his newspaper nearby. A young bride from the compound approached nervously. "Mama Nonso, my mother-in-law is always criticizing me. I don't know what to do." Mama Nonso patted the space beside her. "Come, sit with me, my child. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way." In that compound on Adiola Street, they still tell the story of Mama Nonso. But now it's a different story. Not of a tyrant, but of a woman who was brave enough to look in the mirror and change what she saw. Because life has a way of giving us back what we give to others, not to punish us, but to teach us. And if we're wise, we let the lesson transform us. Every harsh word is a seed. Every act of control is a seed. Every moment of cruelty is a seed. And one day we will harvest exactly what we planted. But forgiveness is also a seed. Humility is a seed. And grace is the richest soil of all. The story ends not with perfection, but with hope. Not with revenge, but with redemption. Not with the loud sound of judgment, but with the quiet whisper of peace. May we all be brave enough to look in the mirror and wise enough to change what we see. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below telling us what lesson spoke to you most. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire, teach, and transform. Because every story shared is a seed planted, and together we can grow a garden of wisdom.